A Promising Pupil. This story is based on Seneca's letter to Lucilius on a promising pupil. Ade was a promising student, or so his mentor told him. His mentor had told him he recognized himself in him when he was his age, eager to do good and save the world. Ade was not sure about saving the world, but he did want to help the young kids in his community, especially the young boys, do much better with their lives, better than he had done. But first, let me tell you about Alaka. Alaka was one of the toughest neighborhoods in Mushin. It was notorious for its drugs, guns, and violence. Growing up there, you learn things. You learn that the sound of an okada at 2 a.m. means someone is either running from something or running to something. You learn that when old women start closing their shops early, trouble is coming. You learn that the smell of burning tires mixed with fried plantain isn't just the smell of home, it's the smell of survival. Ade had grown up in Alaka. He managed to complete his secondary school education single-handedly as a runner. The thing about being a runner is that you have to be fast, you have to be smart, and you have to know when to disappear. Ade was good at all three. The day he graduated was the best day of his life, but also the worst. He was all alone. Being lonely in Alaka is different from being lonely anywhere else. It means watching 12-year-old Kemi run past you with a package under his arm, knowing exactly what's in that package, because you used to carry the same ones when you were his age. It means seeing yourself in every small boy who learns to run, before he learns to read properly. At 20, he decided he wouldn't go any further with his education. He couldn't afford the money or the time because he had to continue to fend for himself. But he still wanted to be educated, so he started reading books. Lots of them. Any book he could lay his hands on, sometimes even from the trash, sometimes bought for a few hundred naira. He built a personal library in the little room he stayed in, hidden under floorboards beneath cardboard and fetish items. This was the reality of life in Alaka. You couldn't do the things you did all by yourself. You needed unseen forces watching over you. The books became his friends. Late at night, when the generators stopped humming and the streets went quiet, Ade would pull out a book and read by candlelight. Through reading, he began to realize that life could actually be different. He started to question everything. What if he'd had someone to guide him? What if he'd had a mentor who helped him make better decisions? Unseen forces must have been listening because he met Mr. Ahmed. Mr. Bola Ahmed owned a small bookshop tucked away in Mushin market. When Ade found it, it was like he had found pirate's gold. He had come to buy food, his stomach cramping from hunger, and his last 200 naira feeling heavy in his pocket. But when he saw this old man dusting books, he forgot his hunger and stepped into what felt like Aladdin's cave. "Hey, what do you want?" Mr. Ahmed's voice was gravelly, strong, and commanding. Ade was too weak from hunger and overwhelmed by what he was seeing to jump up. I want to buy book." Mr. Ahmed looked at him properly then. Really looked. At the worn jeans, at the way Ade was holding himself like he was ready to run, at the hunger in his eyes that wasn't just about food. "Which book do you want to buy?" Ade realized he didn't know. There were too many. He quickly grabbed the first book in a stack in front of him and held it up. The Apology of Socrates. 500 naira flat, Mr. Ahmed said. Ade's heart sank. He pulled out his crumpled 200 naira note, which was all he had left to eat that day. "This all I have, sir, but I bring balance tomorrow." He knew it was a lie. Mr. Ahmed looked at the money, looked at Ade, looked at the book. Then he took the 200 naira and said, Come back when you finish the book." That night, instead of going out to drink or smoke, Ade stayed in and tried to read about this Greek man who chose to drink poison rather than stop asking questions. By morning, something had shifted. He understood why someone might choose death over silence. 3 days later, he went back. "You came back," Mr. Ahmed said. "What did you think?" "I think—" Ade swallowed hard. "I think I've been asking the wrong questions." Mr. Ahmed looked up, recognition in his expression. "What questions have you been asking? How to survive? How to eat tomorrow? How to stay invisible?" Ade's voice caught. But Socrates was asking how to live. "That's different, Abi. What's your name, son?" "Ade, sir." He'd never known his father's name, and his mother's had died with her. Mr. Ahmed nodded. "Well, Ade, I think you might be asking the right questions now." And so began their mentorship. Over the following months, Ade would buy books when he could afford them, and Mr. Ahmed would recommend others. They would discuss everything, but not in the way Ade expected. Mr. Ahmed wouldn't tell him what to think. He would ask questions that made Ade's brain itch. "How does this apply to your life in Alaka?" That question changed everything. These weren't just dead Greek men talking about abstract ideas. These were practical tools for living. Philosophy became survival strategy. Ethics became a way to sleep at night without nightmares. Soon, Mr. Ahmed was letting Ade take books for free so long as he read them and could discuss them. The discussions became the real payment. 6 months after that first meeting, Ade had changed. Not completely. You don't erase 20 years of survival just by reading philosophy. But enough. He had stopped drinking, mostly. He read every day now. And he had started looking at the young boys in Alaka differently. Ade decided that maybe it wasn't too late for the younger ones. He could be the Mr. Ahmed to the boys growing up in Alaka now. In the evenings, they would gather around their local Mai Shai, Ibrahim. Boys like Kemi, like Tunde, making the same choices Ade had made at their age. Boys who could run fast and think fast, but had never been asked to think about anything beyond tomorrow. Ade started small. He insisted on buying only bread and tea for them now. "Brother Ade don turn born again," Kemi laughed. "No wetin happened to you?" Ade stood his ground. He would talk to the boys about their life choices, about opportunities. They laughed because none of them believed such opportunities existed. But they came for the food. Slowly, something started to change. They began staying longer, asking questions, debating with Ade. They challenged him to prove what he was saying. "Show us na, if you get am," they demanded. That stumped him. Show them. Give them. How? What could he actually do for them right now? He couldn't think of anything concrete. The boys started leaving after the food again. "Opportunities ko, opportunities ni," they would mutter. "I don't know what to do for them, sir," Ade said to Mr. Ahmed one hot afternoon in the bookshop. "What opportunities can I give them?" Mr. Ahmed was quiet for a long time. Finally he spoke. "What about boxing?" "Boxing?" Ade sputtered. These boys already knew how to fight. Proper boxing, in a ring with a referee and rules. "But how can boxing change their lives, sir?" Mr. Ahmed smiled. "People think boxing is all about the fists, when in fact, it starts with the mind. You have to be a winner in your mind before you can be a winner in the physical world." As Mr. Ahmed explained it, Ade started to see possibilities. Boxing could give the young boys of Alaka a disciplined way to channel their anger and energy, a career path, something to be proud of. The idea was completely mad, but Ade could see it working. They would need capital, community permission, government negotiation. everyone would want something in return. As he thought about it, he looked up and saw Mr. Ahmed watching him with that patient expression. Slowly, they both started smiling. Without saying anything, they had come to an agreement. But there was something Ade needed to know. "Sir, how do you know so much about boxing?" Mr. Ahmed looked at him and smiled. Then he got up and walked to a section of the shop Ade rarely visited and pulled out a photograph. A younger Mr. Ahmed stood in boxing shorts and gloves, wearing a championship belt. In another picture, he stood with one hand raised in victory in the boxing ring. West African middleweight champion, 1987 to 1989. Ade stared at the photograph. "You never told